Hey, wait, hang on. It says live. Oh, shoot. No, we're not actually live. We're just recording. I was like, oh, we're live on the internet. We're not live on the internet. This is a recording, and it's going to be a great recording because I'm joined by somebody who I should have had on the show when it first started. And then we just kind of kept doing the like, hey, we should hang out sometime. And then we're finally getting to have our first date. And it's going to be with Fred Hart. Fred is the contributing writer. He's probably other contributing writers at the Die Line. He is a strategic advisor for drumroll snacks, and he is also the owner of Heart Brands and a wonderful human being to follow on LinkedIn. Probably just a wonderful human being, period. But you should also go follow him on the socials like LinkedIn. All right, enough of that. Let's get going here with this episode. Cue the intro.
Hey, good evening or good morning or good afternoon. I don't know if that, do you say good afternoon? Yeah, that's a word. Whatever time you're listening to this podcast, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day. It's considered TV, right? I'm guessing. We're live on the YouTube. Live on the YouTube. Not in Belarus, though, told. For paper, you have to flatten it before you receive. I'm guessing they don't crush everything before they're collecting paper. Like 3D objects get routed away. If you leave your paper like a box, if you leave it assembled, the likelihood that it's going to be the back goes down.
Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to listen to the people of packaging. Let's give a big shout out to AJ Peak for putting that together, my 18-year-old child.
AJ's innovation for you, man. I'm gonna need the actual soundtrack. It sounds like it's gonna be on the next, like, now that's what I call music 475.
Those are my favorite when they came out.
Those are great. Yeah.
You know what's funny? So I drive an old car. Like I drive a 2002 car, and it's amazing. And it still has the original 6-disc CD changer. And I've been buying CDs, and I don't know why there is still something kind of magical about like, well, I'm here, so I'm just going to keep listening to this CD. And I even burned a CD
recently.
Yeah.
Good for you. I wouldn't know how to do it today, but 16-year-old me was doing it a lot.
Oh man. Yeah. I was a freshman in college. This is the worst way to start off a podcast with these stories, but let's go for it. I was a freshman at the Colorado State University, and Napster came out, and I felt like I was stealing though. Like it's like, is this allowed?
You're a criminal.
Shh, everybody. I'm so sorry. I used Napster. I did not use LimeWire though. I wasn't that bad. Well, hey, the other voice you hear is my friend and fellow lover of the state of Colorado. One of us left, one of us stayed. Fred Hart. Fred, thanks for coming on the show.
Adam, pleasure to be here. Mom, if you're listening, I love you.
Well, thank you. You are into branding.
I certainly am.
So I need some help before we get into what's moving and shaking in food and beverage. I feel like my intro is moving and shaking, right? It's got the funky beat. Every time I put it on though, and we start this, I'm like, I think this thing needs to be like 15 seconds. Does it feel like the label on the bottle that's like, hey, it's got some good design elements. It's just got a lot of other design elements, and you could probably simplify this thing. What are your thoughts on the intro music to the People of Packaging podcast as a brand consultant and strategist?
Well, you've got sonic branding going on. The piano, the upbeat, I think all of that works. I think the length is probably the issue. It's like you got a good thing, but too much of it. Shorten it, make it more concise. You probably run through some of those clips a little quicker, but otherwise, like you've got all the parts and pieces. It's just about strengthening it. Simplify to amplify is one of the things I like to say.
If that's a good one. Everybody write that down. Simplify to amplify. So if my intro music were a current brand on shelf, what is there a brand that you're like, God, I think these people they've got a lot of really great elements, but if I could just say one thing to this brand, it would be simplify to amplify. Do you have any examples off the top of your brain?
Ooh, I'll go with the easiest one because I was just at BevNet in New York judging a beverage pitch competition, and there was a brand. It's a new brand called Fuzzy, Fuzzee, and it's a line of sparkling coffees. It's pretty cool. Cans like got a whole vibe going on, very emotive, lots of storytelling pieces. The front is a little too complicated. That'd be one that I think would just need some sharpening and enhancing rather than like a full redo. But yeah, check out Fuzzy Coffee. Shout out to
Okay.
them. They did
Shout out
some
to
pretty
Fuzzy.
cool things.
Love it. Well, you mentioned it. You were at BevNet, and
Yep.
you're awesome to follow. Like I said in the intro, I just follow you on LinkedIn. I'm sure you have other social. No, I think we're friends on Instagram, but
I think we are a little harder to get. That's a rare follow. I'm very private on Instagram.
yeah,
So you're in the
I'm
inner
not private.
circle.
I'm not private on Instagram, but I just talk about high school basketball. So people get annoyed when they're like, "I follow you on Instagram." I'm like, I do not talk about packaging on Instagram. Don't follow me there unless you want to hear about high school basketball. In Utah, by the way, it's very niche. It's a niche page, Utah high school basketball. So you just got back from BevNet. You've been talking about this for a while now. So let's kind of start with this. Like, what are some trends and things that you're seeing in the beverage industry when it comes to branding and packaging that you're either excited about or maybe also like, I'm not really sure if this is going to stick?
Well, I can tell you protein is like the hottest thing in beverage right now. Doesn't matter whether you're an energy drink, a soda, a protein shake, a smoothie. Like, it feels like everything's been having protein forced into it. I joked the other day, it's grams gone wild, grams of protein gone wild. And
every front of the
I think
label has, it's like, now with 57 grams of protein. It's like, wow.
yeah, it's a
Weird.
lot. And I'd written a piece on LinkedIn about the arms race of protein and how I think it is negatively impacting a lot of branding and design in the beverage space, because folks are just shouting and yelling grams of protein as loud as they can, which is turning all of these great products and brands into commodities. And now it's like, well, I want 20 or 24, or oh, that one's got 26, or ooh, 30. Oh my God, a 42, and obviously there's some price point equation and stuff going on. But I think a lot of marketers and people behind these beverage brands are losing sight of what is the point of having protein, and how do you deliver it in a way that's any different than any other company right now. So I think that's kind of like muddying some of the design waters in beverage right now. But I'd say there's a lot of like really experimental stuff that I've been seeing from a creative standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
There's this brand called what is it? Limo, Limo, and they do like a sparkling lemonade of a yuzu and a calamansi. If you pull it up, or we can put it in the show notes or something. It's this wild.
Oh, I can try to
naked silver can. I've got a picture too. I don't know if
okay,
I can
limo. Let's this is the limo
sparkling lemonade
beverage. Okay, we're getting there. I got it. Let me okay. Oh, I like this.
Yeah,
And we're gonna go ahead and present, share
Woo.
screen, and
yeah, it's an absolute vibes. All silver can, ton of substrate. It's got these like interesting polka dots that you use for the flavor shoppability construct. Hard to read, but catches your eye. It's like just so different. Like, I saw it on one of my store trips while I was in New York City, and I met up with Alex Center from Center Design while I was in town, and I was drinking it. He had one on his shelf. So we both kind of talked about how much we appreciate what this company's doing.
This is pretty sweet. Wait, did it
Yeah.
not? It opened up a new. I clicked on
New
shop
window
and I was
for you.
scrolling back and forth, and I was like, wait a second, this isn't doing anything at all. Are these, is this can direct printed, or is this a shrink sleeve?
It's a shrink sleeve.
Okay.
Which is how they're pulling that off, because there's some transparency and, wet on wet on direct to print can substrate wouldn't work so hot. But
yeah, that would be
pulling this off pretty interestingly.
Did you see any brands that are doing any of the inkjet direct to can printing?
Yes,
that kind of kicking up a little bit.
Yeah, in fact, a client of mine, you can pull up another brand if you want, called HiQ, HY.Q. Drink HiQ.Q. It's a sports
Hydration?
hydration brand. Yep. They just did, they're doing sort of laser printing directly on the can, digital printing. And so it's got a really interesting and unique quality. I don't know if these renders, yeah, these renders are that. I don't think this is direct, but I've been seeing it a lot more, and it's getting pretty good. Bureau, the Tom Holland non-alc beer brand, just did a line extension, and their first short run is what you were just talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great differentiator, I think. I'm not a big fan of the shrink sleeves on cans, only from talking to just various material recovery people. Let me take this
Yep.
down here. It's just not it's causing some problems at can recycling facilities. Not because it can't get recycled, it's because it's like number one, it can cause a sorting problem. Number two,
Yep.
it can kind of get stuck in the gears because there's so many cans out there with shrink sleeves on it. So for years now, I've probably been talking about this for 4 or 5 years. I'm
Mhm.
like, just put a zipper perf on every can
Yeah.
and just
Some brands
encourage
do it,
people to
some
do
brands
that.
don't.
Yeah, but it doesn't cost any extra money. So it's literally on the seamer. Like every shrink sleeve seamer, most shrink sleeve seamers have a way to perf it. It's just a little tool addition. It literally costs $0 extra dollars to do so. Uh,
Yep.
anyway, well, your high dot Q seems to be doing well. They got some products sold out. So must be
Yeah.
because of the branding.
Must be. That's an amazing entrepreneur. Rick, the founder, was previously at Liquid Death doing insights and analytics, and then was at Health Aid and Red Bull before that. So he's a guy that's always worked at beverage companies, but wanted to start his own, and he's trying to disrupt the sports hydration category. It's filled with Gatorade and Powerade and Body Armor and lots of masculine, outdated performance tropes and professional athletes, and he wants to create something new for the next generation that's focused on sustainability, hence why it's in a can, as well as kind of the run club era that is very much hot, and pickleball and kind of these athleisure style beverages where you're not watching professionals do their thing. You're the one that's kind of active.
Okay, so let me ask you a question on this from a branding perspective, because this is your world. It's not my world, and I'm guessing you had a say in this. So I'll pull this back up here. I zoomed in.
Yep.
Is there's what, 4 different fonts here?
Mhm.
5 almost. Is that intentional? Like, as a
100%.
brand, do you go, "Hey, we wanna create these different" I'm guessing everything you do is intentional, right? But, like, what
Ideally.
ideally, you're not just, like, going to ChatGPT, like, "Hey,
Yeah.
design this for me." Uh, so what would be the thought process for a brand behind the various font structures here on this can?
Yeah, you're opening up a really interesting topic, which is really about like what are the rules of branding and design? And I like to think that there actually are none. There are certain principles of hierarchy and information and navigation and things of that nature. But in terms of like how many fonts are too many fonts, well, it really depends. With this brand in mind, we were looking at a lot of streetwear inspired culture, and we're looking at 90s ads of New Balance. The Haiku mark is kind of inspired by the Futura Bold of the Nike's Just Do It
Mhm.
slogan and campaigns. And so we're going for like a mishmash of things. One of my favorite things is like we were inspired by the um, laundry tags on the inside of your clothing that have all these like instructions about how to care for things.
Oh,
So
I
there's a
see
little
that.
bit of like functional kind of language that speaks to performance, but in a new way. The quality hydration lockup, it's a serif and a sans serif. So there are a bit of, a number of fonts, but as long as we have the right rules of like when we want to use them and putting them in the right place, I think it works. Another one that people kind of ask a lot about is like brand color. Traditionally you have one brand color and you kind of own it. But in today's world, you have Olipop and Poppy that change literally with every single flavor. Goodle's disrupting Kraft mac and cheese. Every box and that logo is always changing color. And Monster Energy Drink was one of the OGs. Like they had the green M slash on the can, but as you know, they have the green M slash changes on every can in terms of color and background. And so I think that the industry is grappling with what have the big companies traditionally done, the monolithic look and feel, and what are ways of disrupting that and using design as a signal to say, this is something new, this is something fresh, this is something built for another generation. And sometimes turning those rules or perceived rules or unspoken rules on their head is what you find happening in the CPG industry right now.
And it's such a cool time, I feel like, too, for especially CPG and food and beverage. I know that's where you live a lot, in that you can really become a disruptive company in a traditionally dominated by a couple of big companies area, right? So you have soda, water,
Yep.
now you've
Olive
got
oil, Graza.
Yep, olive oil. I even think about, like, I had Sean Riley on from Dude Wipes. Like,
Yep.
you would have thought that just like toilet paper would be, even and these guys have been growing a lot, but like Midday Squares, I had Jake Carls on, and
Jake's a good guy.
it's just you've got these companies that are sort of like guerrilla companies, but because of the leveling of the playing field from a branding and market perspective with social media, it's really cool to see these companies that can really go dominate. And there's also other companies that are still trying to do sort of you mentioned like Tom Holland, like that's been a really big success story, but it's not as easy as like find a celebrity, have them endorse it, and then you're going to be great. Like,
Yeah.
not that it was ever that easy, but it's just cool to see these businesses now. Like, I can't remember a time where there's been so many people who've been able to leverage the power of branding, the power of marketing, and then a high quality product to build a killer business and employ a lot of people.
Amen. I mean, if Liquid Death can do what it does and the product is the ultimate commodity of just water, then there's no reason why you can't take that and apply it to any other industry. Now, the Liquid Death model is not right for everyone. In fact, it's kind of 1 in a billion. But to your point about Tom Holland and even Jake Carls and what they're doing with Midday Squares, one of the principles that I preach with a lot of my clients is challenge the category, but not the consumer. That is to say, don't just be different for different sake. You asked me, like, why so many fonts? Was that intentional? There has to be strategy and intention behind behavior and action. Midday Squares product format is different. Packaging, I wouldn't say is like crazy revolutionarily different, but it is obviously a refrigerated product, which is a different purchase behavior and everything. But I think the way that Jake and his co-founders have gone about building the brand in public is also something that a large company would never do. One, because they're faceless, and two, doing it in public is not for everyone. But you're seeing a real rise in the entrepreneur being the new celebrity chef and posting about the trials and tribulations, and it builds community. And ultimately, at the end of the day, all brands need community. They need people. Brands are in service of people. Without it, they die. And they're stealing a lot of other brands, communities, or audiences that are more interested now because they previously were just consuming a product with nothing more behind it. So
yeah,
it's great. But design is also a big disruptor. I mean, we briefly touched on Graza, like olive oil, always in the glass bottle, always that import look, always fancy. And I'm uncomfortable in the kitchen. I know how to chop things and help, but you put it in a squeeze ball, all of a sudden it feels accessible and that it's no longer stuffy and just feels approachable. And sometimes, as subtle a shift as that is, like that's all it takes to unleash this new wave of people caring.
That's such a great point. Well, what else? So we talked about protein. We went from protein to olive oil. Protein and
someone's going to do a protein olive oil pretty soon.
It's gonna happen. Yeah, we're gonna have like single serve, like squeezy pouches of like olive oil, protein, and I don't know, tuna fish or something. Just
ashwagandha.
Yeah. So are there other? Because you were at BevNet, I'm sure by the time this posts, you'll either be at the Fancy Food Show or you will have been there. And so maybe maybe you can just send me some notes like, hey, I saw this happen. But I mean, like I was at Expo West.
Yep.
Are there similar kind of trends between food and beverage? Or are there things within the food sector that you're like, actually, I'm starting to see more of this, whether it's a form factor or an ingredient or a design or all of it?
Yeah, all of it. It constantly does change. I attend maybe 10 to 12 food and beverage trade shows a year. I'm actually going to be going to Super Zoo, which is a pet trade show in
I went to that
Vegas.
once. It was huge.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be my first time. I'm really looking forward to drinking from a fire hydrant and not pissing on one with like a dog, but drinking from it
I
in
see
terms of
what you
just
did
like
there.
that industry. Yeah, yeah, a little clever.
Have you used that line
Um,
already? It was the first time
no,
you
no, that's just off the dome. But every show is different. So, a month ago, I went to the Sweets and Snacks trade show, which is the confection industry. And what's so interesting about confection versus Expo West, which you attended, is Expo West is everyone is trying to disrupt their categories, and there's all these better for you plays, and there's some like wink, twist, or nod to how the product is superior to the conventional version. With the confection show, it's like we're filled with candy. We're not good for you. You want to have some fun? Like it's almost like more straight branding and marketing. What I was surprised from there from a product perspective was just like the amount of freeze dried candy. And you said you got an 18-year-old son. I'd be curious if you see them eating freeze dried candy, but it's a big thing to the point that Skittles and Lemonheads and all these other brands are now doing freeze dried versions
Yeah.
of those national brands.
Yep. I've seen that actually at they used to sell it at Shields. There was freeze dried Skittles that you could go buy at Shields that was not Skittles branded.
Yeah, yeah, right. Just kind of generic
They
knockoff
just
type
did
stuff.
it, and
Yeah.
it just had like a it was just in like a stock stand up pouch with like a printed label from the back of the. It was just but yeah, now we're seeing the brands actually lean into it. So that's a great point.
Yeah.
Did you see a lot of the like better for you candies? That seems to be an area of
There
growth.
was some, the low sugar gummies is definitely a thing. Like there was a company called Smart Sweets that had a successful exit that basically was like kick sugar, not candy. That was the whole platform.
Yeah.
And it was really smart. And now there are a lot of brands kind of riffing off of that. One really cool company though was a company called Smood, Smood, candy dates. And they basically take a date and enrobe it in flavoring and a candy coating. No added sugar because dates are very sweet themselves, but they're doing crazy things like sour watermelon and cola and sour peach and things of that nature. And it was a really cool candy-like experience using a whole food ingredient.
It's SM.
OOD. But if you do Smood candy dates, it should show up for you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the first thing. It's just a landing page. They don't have the packaging. But if you maybe hit images, you'll be able to find it.
Mine is not happy. Mine says, "Do you mean smoked candied dates?"
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, it's
Your
working for me.
search.
But
Okay. Well, whatever. I was gonna pull it up, but that's fine.
yeah.
Okay, so
But candy dates, there were what else were there? Like fruit leathers kind of coming back and replacing the fruit roll-ups of our generation. There's a handful, but the show is mostly conventional. There was a lot of popcorn, a lot of beef jerky, a lot of nuts. And one of the biggest trends I saw at that show was just like the number of influencer brands. So you had the D'Amelio sisters, TikTok made famous dancers that have a popcorn brand now called Be Happy. You had Khloe Kardashian launching her protein popcorn called Cloud,
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
KHLOUD. You had Mr. Beast collaborating with Jack Links for a brand new jerky collaboration line. And then you had all of these other YouTuber influencer types that I'm too naive to understand like their names or their backgrounds, but also launching candy brands at the show. It's just kind of wild to the point that we made earlier about like, Jake Carls and just these people that are building audiences. And then once they accrue a large enough audience, they say, well, what are these audiences interested in and what makes sense for me and what can I start to sell? Dave Dobrik was another guy. He's a pizza dude. He started a pizza flavored chip company called Wavers.
I'm gonna pull up actually a friend of mine from Utah. who is I think he would be a certified influencer. I think that would be a
content
way.
creator.
Yeah. He's on TikTok. He got sort of like TikTok famous by pretending to be the adult version of Kevin from Home Alone. His name's London Lazarson.
That's funny.
Yeah. And so it was interesting because
Final Boss.
Yeah. So these guys are really killing it. And what's interesting about it is they are you don't see London's name on here. Like you have to like scroll around a bunch to try to find that it was associated with
his
him
endorsement or yeah.
And he's been pretty public about saying like, hey, listen, I wanted to build a business that was like bigger than me. And instead of leveraging his, kind of like college, like NIL, like instead of using his name, image, and likeness, he just wanted to build a great product and then use the lessons that he learned as a content creator to build a business. And they're doing awesome. I mean, he's killing it right now on TikTok Shop and other places. So
it's smart for him not to have to leverage himself for the brand, because if he ever wants to exit and sell it, he can do that without knowing that it's built off of his name, image, and likeness. Like, I worked on Mr. Feastables or Mr. Beast Feastables chocolate line, and if you look at the before and after, it was the huge Mr. Beast Feastables, and now it's Mr. Beast Feastables, eventually working to be able to stand on its own 2 feet.
Isn't there one of them that's like D's Nuts?
They used to. They no longer call it that.
Oh, they're not allowed to? Or they just decided to change it?
Yeah. An adult probably stepped into the room and was like, guys, what are we doing? But
I bought it because I thought it was hilarious. So
no, it is funny, but we're not adults. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, that's fair. Awesome. Okay, so last few minutes here, you're going to be at what are the shows you got coming up?
The Fancy Food Show in New York, Super Zoo, the National Convenience Store Trade Show.
Man, isn't it crazy how many trade shows there are? Like, people don't realize that
every industry.
And so this is a story I've never told on this podcast, I'm pretty sure. Although I'm at like 300 plus episodes, so maybe I did. But I had a job for a hot second where I would help my friend had built a software company to help business insurance companies analyze risk. And what I had to do was go into his software, look at like what trade shows were happening. So we had a list of every trade show that was happening. And then I had to assign the NAICS codes of every industry that I thought would be there. And the algorithm was based on like, hey, are they together in groups a lot? Because if there's an event, then we might be liable. So like it like slightly impacted, I guess. This was like 20 years ago.
Fascinating.
So I don't even know if it still happens, but I just remember it was so boring just doing data entry, but it was an easy way to make some extra cash right out of college. So, but I learned there are it's an ungodly amount of trade shows. Like they just keep on going. Well, Fred, how do people get in touch with you? Is LinkedIn still the best way for someone to follow you and connect up with you?
Yeah, I mean, my name's Fred, and my URL is fredhart.com. So pretty easy.
HART, like the band.
Yep, like the band. And LinkedIn is where I spend a fair amount of time giving musings on the food and beverage industry, branding and design principles, as well as sharing a lot of the things that I see. I do store checks everywhere. I travel a lot for work, and I'm always interested in finding different brands and being able to highlight some of them and learn at the same time of what's going on. So LinkedIn's the spot.
When are you going to come hang out with me in Utah?
That's a great question. You haven't invited me over for dinner yet, but as soon as you do that, I'll get on the flight.
If you want to come hang out with me and my wife and our 5 kids plus our 1 bonus kid, you are welcome to come out. And
I've got a 2-year-old. I feel like one of your kids could probably give some free babysitting.
1,000%. They will happily babysit. You and your wife can go spend a lovely weekend in Park City. Drop your 2-year-old off. I'll read Packaging Peaks in a Sticky Situation, the lovely kids book that my wife and I wrote, which I need to, if you don't have a copy,
awesome.
I'll send you one.
Yeah, I'll take it.
And if you don't want me to send you one and you're listening to this, you should go to packagingfashion.com and just buy it and get these out of my my house. So
go support an entrepreneur.
Yes. Yeah. Well, Fred, I really appreciate you coming on. That time went by way too fast because I looked at the clock. I'm like, all right, we're probably about halfway through. I'm like, or we're done. So we'll have to have you on again. It'd be fun actually is we should try to find some time for you to come on with me, Avelio, and Corey. And like do like a packaging breakdown on a Friday. We do pack of the week.
Be fun.
And that would be a ton of fun. So we will make that happen, Fred. Appreciate you. Everyone go check him out. Click on a link down in the show notes. I'll have his LinkedIn stuff there so you don't have to remember anything. That's all I got, Fred. How about you?
Happy to be here. Thanks so much, Adam, for building this amazing community. Honestly, like what you're doing is awesome. And you're a short way away from starting your own candy brand with all the audience you've been building.
Oh my gosh, I'm never starting a candy brand. That is, I'll let London take that. So anyway, appreciate you being on, Fred. Thank you.